Hi, it is Sarah Otis and Healing Hands Holistic Therapies. And so I'm continuing on from a video I did about focusing on one item or issue going on within your body that either brings like an annoyance, a dread, or wish it was better or gone. Um, that would be a great starting point. Even the video I shared for the summer solstice for this year, 2023, would be a great one because that takes you on a journey, and it's a healing journey where it's like a meditation, and then afterwards I share an Anahata Code that will help. Uh, what's the word I want to use? Help it to integrate, but to lock it into place. And then the one about a particular issue kind of built upon that. And so this one, we are going to go into, if you were to have something come to mind, an event, whether it was good or bad, that's happened in your life. I guess we'll go more along the lines of it was traumatic, or it was not as you would hoped it would have been, wished it could have been better. And this event is still affecting you to this very second. You're sitting here listening. Could have been something that happened earlier today, last week, months ago, years ago, when you were childhood, when you were a child. Could have even happened in utero or in another lifetime. But when it comes to mind, it still affects you in this now moment. And so see if something like immediately, yes, that, if I could just resolve that. See, in our minds, we think, oh, if I can resolve that, life will get better. Like, it's typically our human minds think, well, if I lose the weight, I'll be able to vacation. I'll be able to find a mate, or I'll be able to get the job, or all these different things. But you're hinging on losing weight, or if I win the lottery, I'll be able to buy a car, I'll be able to buy a new wardrobe, I'll be able to go on vacation. Instead of creating it, you're expecting some outside external item or source is going to solve the problem, and that's not how it works. So bring something up that comes to mind that is still affecting you today that you would like some assistance with. It's funny. And hence there was this it popped up about someone that, from the previous video, I talked about, there's times in our lives that people naturally fall out of our lives, and it's for a reason. So many times we do not resonate anymore. They're going through their stuff, we're going through our stuff, and it's just, there's too much static going on if you keep them around. So it's funny, this person, I guess their account's been hacked, and I keep getting all these emails, and it makes it sound like this person's wanting to reconnect, but it's some kind of spam from whoever has hacked their account. But there is something like, I can drive by certain places and my mind immediately thinks of that person. So that is an event, a person or place or thing that is still affecting me, and it's in my subconscious. And it's not that it's a negative affecting, it elicits memories, the good and the bad, with this particular person or event, just by driving by somewhere. So if you think about it, if you start to bring into your mind something that happened in the past that still is having a pull on your life in this now moment. So if you need to take a minute to, allow this thought to come to mind, pause this video and allow yourself some time to tune in. But most likely, I want you to go with that first instant response of what comes to you, because that's what is the thing that wants to be addressed with. So I'll give you a minute here. So once you have this event, person, or place, or thing in mind, the first thing I want you to ask yourself, what exactly is this? I'm just going to say memory, and that's going to encapsulate whether it's a person, a place, a thing, or an event. We're just going to say, did I say event? I've already forgot. No, this memory. How is this memory keep, or let's say no. Better way to ask. How is my staying plugged in to this memory? Like you plug something, this cord will come through. If you were to plug on my phone, you were to plug this cord into a device. How, by plugging this memory into your daily life, how is it serving you? Is it helping you stay motivated, inspired, or is it keeping you more in a state of pissed offness, anger, dread, shame? It could even be something as it affects your ability to eat. You don't have an appetite because of it, or you overeat, or you smoke, or you shoot up, do drugs, drink yourself to death. We will all have our own individualized way that this memory will elicit an activity or a response in us. So think about that a second. When you have the recall of this memory, how does it make you feel? And then the second, how is that serving your now moment, your existence in this day and in the future? But we're focusing right now in this millisecond as you're listening to me. By you holding on to that memory, how is it serving you? So we'll go back to my example. The email popped up. It's from someone who's hacked this person's account. When I see those emails, I just get annoyed. Like, okay, so this person's memory keeps coming into my daily life. Why? Typically, for me, when I keep thinking about someone, they appear. Either I run into them in person, they give me a phone call, I get a real email, not a hacked email, or someone mentions their name, something happens, or you read something, see something, and there they are. For me, what comes up when this recall happens is it wants to take me back to some events that occurred with this particular person. And how did what transpired, what did it elicit in me? Like what emotions came up? A lot of it was like I was expecting some of these things, like I was foreseeing it was going to occur. But my biggest thing was I was disappointed, deeply disappointed that this person chose to behave the way they did with all the information they had from our years of, a friendship, that they chose this path. That's their path. It had nothing to do with me, but how that made me feel was my responsibility, not theirs. Does that make sense? Because whatever decisions they made on their behalf to say, I no longer want you in my life was their responsibility, their decision. So when that passed on to me, when they shared their truth, I responded with disappointment and a little bit of sadness for them that despite everything we'd ever talked about and discussed, that they still had not gotten it. They still were holding on to their victim mentality, but that was their choice. It wasn't my responsibility to fix it for them. Despite everything that, I might have spoken to them or pointed out to them or brought to their attention, it was their conscious choice to choose whether to change that, to do better, to switch up their way of being, the way of thinking, way of doing. That was their choice. Just like when I work with clients, I can share information with a client. And if they're not ready to receive it, if they're coming from a place of victim mentality or poverty consciousness or feeling the need to protect and guard themselves, if I come and say something that to me seems very like just general information, they may take it as a threat or as if I am judging them or trying to tell them what to do. They go into defense based on that recall that I've spoken about in this video that takes them back, sucks them back in. And what I shared, it may have zero connection to that. Say it's something that happened to you in your childhood. I'm not connected to that, but something I said, or it could have been my body language, a facial expression, a word I said, or an object I had, a place I was or mentioned, triggered that person back to that event. They were that little child cowered in the corner, hiding from their father so their father wouldn't abuse them, type thing. That's not this person. This is just an example. But something I did took them back there. So the immediate response is they're going to be mad at me. I hate you. How dare you, Sarah? I can't believe you would do that to me. And then I was like, but what did I do to you? And then all that came out was blah, blah, blah. Blame, 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 blame. It was all my fault, even though I was not connected to those events from when they were childhood or when they were a child. Let's get it right here. And I've had to learn over the years to not take these things personally because I do not want to hurt anyone. But when I share something, I don't share anything to be malicious or harmful or hateful. I gauge the energy. If I feel they are ready to receive truths that maybe they're asking for help, what am I like? If I'll ask people when I have a session, don't sugarcoat it. Even if you think it's going to hurt, still share it with me because I can sense that you have something to say to me, but you don't want to say it because you're afraid you'll hurt me. And it ends up hurting me because you won't say it. Does that make sense? So I'll say, don't sugarcoat it. Tell me what I need to hear because I'm coming to you because I'm not getting it. Sorry, need to move. And the thing is, many times clients will say that to me, but when we get into the thick of it, they really were not ready. So sometimes I may have things planned out I'm going to say, but then it's like, I have to pull back because you can see, sense, hear, feel during the session if they're starting to be sucked back into a previous trauma, a previous recall or a memory. So we kind of got off on a tangent. Let's get back to what we are. So if you have your situation, we were asking, by you continually choosing to bring the recall of that person, place, thing, event into your daily life, consciously or subconsciously, how is it serving you? So my example was, it is helping me to see, by taking me back to different periods of our friendship over the years, things that they might have said or done that elicited certain emotions. And what I mentioned, the shame and disappointment and sadness. Okay, so let's bring that forward. So by me holding on to that in today's moment, does it bring me joy? Does it bring me happiness? Does it bring me prosperity? Is it helping me to have energy? No, not really. Even though when I have these recalls of this person, I don't feel bad per se or anything like that. It's kind of like, I hope I don't run into them. I mean, and it's not in a bad or mean way. It's more, I know this person still hasn't done the work, because all I can do is just tune into their energy. I'm not prying into their energy. All I have to do is just say their name or think of them, and I immediately get an energy signature. And they're still exactly where they were when we walked out of each other's lives. And so why I say I don't want to run into them is, they were classic to transfer their stuff onto me, because they felt like, Sarah will take care of it for me, won't she? She's good at that. Sarah's such a good person. She takes care of these things. She's always reminding me things. And I don't want to do that. And I don't want to pick up that energy signature. Because a lot of times, if it's in a big setting where there's multiple people, you're already trying to keep your field clear from, being bombarded from 500 people's different energies. And then if they unload their dump truck, it can be quite overwhelming. So let's go back to your recall, your event. How is it serving you to hold on to these things? So by me feeling that sadness, dread, or shame or disappointment, I want to then mirror that back to me. Where am I feeling disappointed in my daily life? Where am I feeling shameful, maybe for actions, events, or where am I beating myself up for not being able to do something, like where I'm still going through my own healing process physically. On my days off, I don't have much energy to do anything. So I'll do things in very small bursts of energy. But on days that I don't even have those, yeah, guilt and shame takes over. So there is that daily reoccurrence of that recall, that person. So the emotions that they elicit in me, I impose upon myself. Are you getting it? If you watched the previous video about what's one thing on your body or your life that annoys you, that you'd like to change, I talked about the magnetism. We attract the things to us that we are broadcasting. So by me continuing to feel shame or guilt about my own daily actions, I am magnetizing the recall of this particular person. Hence, when I go by these places, I think of them. Is this all making sense, or have I totally lost you? So once you have an idea of what it is helping you in your daily life with, I want you to ask yourself, is it really worth you holding on to these emotions attached to these recalls of these memories? And see if you get a yes or no. And let's go with, if you get a no, what is one thing, come on, finger show, that I could do today to help me to release the bondage of this recall? And remember, the recall is going to take in all the emotions that the recall of this person, place, thing, or event is bringing into your daily life. So mine was the shame and guilt and disappointment. So if these things are not serving me, and I said no, what can I do to flip them? So I can say to myself, Sarah, you know what? You were doing good. You were alive today. You are breathing. You woke up. God gave you another day of life. It's okay if we don't have the energy to do the dishes or to fold the laundry. It's okay. It's going to be there tomorrow. It's okay. It's not putting you in danger, not putting anyone else in danger. So take a breath, Sarah. Just release that burden that I'm placing upon myself that makes me feel guilty, shameful, or disappointed in myself. And then later, if you do have a burst of energy, you can just kind of tune into yourself. Place your hands on your body. All right, so I'm going to use the example of, days that I'm really exhausted. So I know I'm exhausted, but what can I accomplish today to make myself feel better? So sometimes it may be I can sit and I'll paint, or I'll draw, might decide to sing, or I can dance in a chair, even if you don't physically feel like standing to dance. Put on some music and dance. Sit in your chair and move your body. And a lot of times it shifts me right out of it. And then it's like, I've got energy. Wow, I can do the dishes and I can do the laundry. And you know what? I can run the vacuum because I chose to rewrite the script. I could have stayed over here and mulling over in guilt, shame, and disappointment in myself, but I chose to acknowledge, yes, I'm exhausted today and I'm feeling these emotions, but I'm going to choose. That's the powerful word. I now choose to do this. And then I felt better. So think about that. What could you do and say to yourself in a loving way? Acknowledge how you're feeling, because that allows your soul to say, I'm taking one responsibility. And that came up in the other video. And that was the flower essence, was to help you take responsibility. So one, you take responsibility for yourself. Two, gosh, acknowledge what you are feeling, because that helps bring you back into your body. And three, what can I do to shift me out of this pattern? And it could be something very small. It could just be as simple as looking at a picture of somebody. So when you have all those in mind, make a plan. Now, each day, that plan may change what you need to do to shift yourself out of that mindset. But the more you make a habit of doing it, you'll find it just kind of dissolves and resolves itself. And then just like, wow. And then that recall or that memory is gone. Because whatever the magnetized emotions that you were exuding in this now moment kept taking you back, no longer has the electrical charge to keep it magnetized to you. This other magnet's gone. This one that left was the person, place, event, or thing, and this is you. This left, and here's your electrical charge that you now can plug in to whatever brings you joy, happiness, health, prosperity. We are in control of our lives and our script and the simulation that we live in. You control it. You are the writer. Or you can choose to let other people write your script, but then you're going to be stuck living the life that the writer chose to put you in. Like when you watch a TV show or a movie, the actors are given a script by a writer. The writer chose the theme for the movie or the TV show, and the actors don't have, even though they probably voice, they don't have much of a say. They play the character or the role that the script they were given. But I'm telling you, you have the choice to say, writer, me, yourself. I don't want this. Give me a different script. Hello. Let's do better. This is what I want. And get to writing, get to creating, and create the life you want for yourself. So for us to help support ourselves, I want to pull in an Anahata Code. And so my asking is, which flower essence would best support us to assist with the daily anchoring in of a new, abundant script that helps us to release and dissolve the old, outdated, unsupportive scripts of the past. All right, so let me open this up. So I get water violet. So let's go here and do our search. Oops. Okay. Which one speaks to me? There may be two or a couple different sites I'm going to read to you some information from. Let's see. So it says on this one, well, hold on, this one doesn't give me. This one doesn't, hold on. It doesn't really give you like the properties of how it would be beneficial. Okay, so this makes a lot of sense. So it says the water violet flower essence helps to restore the soul qualities of humility and wisdom. So when you think about that tied into our, remember that memory recall, there's a lot of wisdom and humilities encapsulated in that recall, because it's bringing so much information forward into your everyday life that's affecting you, because it's eliciting certain emotions that is dragging your daily life down, when you can actually use those to empower you. So if you pull upon that wisdom and that humility, how you have so much immense power to completely blow up your entire, in a good way, life, to create what you truly want. So it says those in need of the water violet often have much valuable wisdom and insight to share, but due to their gentle, sensitive natures, find it hard to communicate this with others. So if you think about, we can use my example of where I felt disappointment, guilt, and shame. So those guilt and shame are really strong emotions. So if I feel guilty or shameful, I most likely may not want to share something with someone, because I might feel guilty for imposing myself onto them, because I feel I have these emotions because someone else imposed it upon me. You get what I'm saying? So I may button it up and not share, and then I hold it in. And then the more you hold things in your throat chakra, then you can't communicate it. And then if you do try to communicate it, it comes off in a way that people are like, whoa, that was harsh. And it may not have been what you implied, but by you holding on to that emotion, and even right now, my throat's getting scratchy, by holding on to that for so long, can you imagine all the emotions that built up behind it? Like if you had someone to say, even though you were probably like, I don't, let's think of it. This is what first came to mind, opera singer. And you've been applying or trying out for this one role, and you've been told, because you've won all kinds of awards and stuff, that you are like the best opera singer out there. But yet no one on Broadway will hire you. They keep hiring the people that maybe stepped on top of you and used your light to get above you, when really maybe they were lips, not that an opera singer could lip sing, but they stole either things that you shared or your tips and tricks, and then they got glory and gratification for it, not gratification, acknowledgement for it. And you're like, that was, I did that. And now they're keeping me from getting a job as an opera singer. So imagine that. Like you could rip that person's head off, and all the other words that you might want to say, you've bottled that up here. And then maybe one day you do go to sing, and that's all that comes out. And you're like, oh, holy crap. Now you've sabotaged yourself, but you've taken on everybody else's stuff and held it here to the point where you did not communicate it. You've now sabotaged yourself. And it can take quite a bit of time sometimes, not always, to reverse the effects. It depends on how long you've allowed it to go on. So this further goes on to say they have a tendency to withdraw into their own space and can sometimes appear to be aloof or unapproachable, or even perhaps slightly superior or proud. All aspects of personality that contribute to their sense of isolation from others. It can help them to remember the oneness of all things and to dissolve the barriers around the heart chakra that states that this state creates, promoting the ability to socialize easily and to share their integrity, wisdom, and knowledge. Perfect. Let's see. So it says indication that the water violet is needed. So this person tends to be more independent, private, needs to be alone, doesn't like interference from others, and won't ask for help, feels alienated, isolated, separate, and painfully different from others, difficulty approaching others, fears emotional intimacy, unable to show emotions, barriers around the heart, and tendency to withdraw. Also aloof, proud, superior, seems unapproachable and cold, and rarely cries. So it will benefits of the water violet will help you to have a sense of belonging and connection with others and help to open up that heart chakra. It allows you to be able to experience emotional intimacy and meaningful connections. Shares humility, integrity, and wisdom in community. Feels oneness with others and recognizes similarities rather than differences. Let's see if there's anything else. But I think that pretty much nails it right on the head. All right, so we're going to install this Anahata Code and allow it to begin to help you with the process of rewriting the scripts so that you truly can share your from integrity, your wisdom, and your intuition with yourself and your community. Your community is your family, your friends, and of the like. All right, so you can simply just sit there and receive, or if you want to hold the position, it's left palm up, right hand over your heart. We ask for, accept, align with, and hold this Anahata Code with gratitude. We now align with and install the water violet flower essence. 32429682-839. 32429682-839. 32429682-839. 32429682-839. 32429682-839. 32429682-839. 32429682-839. Left palm over your right. Take a nice deep cleansing breath in. And allow this beautiful essence to flow through you and to find the areas that where the resistance and barriers lie that keep you from truly being at ease within, so that you feel safe to dissolve and resolve the old recalls and memories. Okay. So I hope this talk today has served you well, and it's going to help you to feel more empowered and to take back your power and rewrite those scripts so that you can live the life that you truly deserve to live, and remove yourself from all those barriers and limiting patterns that we have chosen to hold on to consciously or subconsciously to feel safe. So let's allow them to start to dissolve and then resolve, and they disappear. It's a process. And like I say, many times there will be layers. It may not be immediate. They'll be like, that Sarah girl, she's full of shit. Stuff didn't go away. It takes practice. It's not going to be a one-time fix. I am sharing the information with you. You take and do with it what you choose, but don't shoot the messenger. because now the power lies within you. I planted the seed with the instructions, and now it takes your conscious choice to practice to make perfect. So every day, make the conscious effort to help yourself. And then you'll realize it just becomes natural and you don't have to think about it anymore. And then those things are just flipping out of your life. And you address the next layer and the next layer and the next layer. And the more you do that, your body's really going to feel much more in a state of safety and appreciation. And you're going to find it's going to actually, its health is going to improve, and there's going to be more things that you're going to feel that extra support and maybe you haven't felt before. Because typically when our bodies are really bogged down with emotions and things that we are blaming it for, he'll be like, all right, I'll show it to you. I'll make it where you can't walk. Your legs are going to feel like they weigh 500 pounds each. You're not going to be able to sleep. You're not going to be able to poop because you're so daggone constipated, or you're going to have absolutely no appetite. Oh boy, baby, I can pull out all the works and make you feel like real shit. That's your choice. I'm empowering you and giving you the instructions and the wisdom to change that script and make your life much better. I put all the power back into your hands. And I'm just reminding you that you've always had the power. We just choose to give it away. Trust me, I'm right there with you. I do it all the time. We all do. We're human. Even if we have the tools, the know-how, we still do it. No one's perfect. I love you and I see you. And I'm wanting to reflect that to you to help you see yourself. Till next time, keep on shining, my friends. Much love. Bye-bye.